Hi, welcome to my channel. This is my first time recording a video, so please bear with me. Thank you for being here. My channel is called Deb's TV Musings. I'm kind of a TV buff of the shows that I like, so I just wanted to give you some of my rantings, musings about what's happened in the latest episode of Sister Wives. This is episode 11, the 11th hour. These scenes take place in April of 2023. Let me just back up to say, big time Sister Wives fan. This is just really interesting to me, just how any man could be with 4 different women, and just how it all evolved and all it resolved. And of course, now we're at the end of 3 marriages. Opening scene, we're at Christine and David's new house. They've been dating for about 2 months. They have actually bought a house together. It's super cute. And all the kids come over, and Christine is excited to announce her engagement. And we wish her really well on that. We already know that they get married. But of course, the kids are all excited, but they're also going, hey, Mom, you're really moving too fast. We know that's not going to stop you, but Christine, you're moving a little bit fast. You and David seem to have a super great connection. We're so happy for you, especially after everything that you've experienced with Kody and getting out of polygamy. But, let the kids catch up. You and David aren't going anywhere, and just thrilled for you. So the next scene, we kind of see Janelle comes in. Janelle gets to see their new house. She gets to meet David, and as they're prepping meal together, which I absolutely love. They just have a really dynamic relationship together. They're making some lasagna. They're talking about Janelle is giving up her idea on the farm in Montana because it's super expensive. I mean, anytime you have to bring in utilities a long way, that just ups your costs just astronomically. So she and Maddie and Caleb start to look close by in North Carolina, and they think they found a farm in North Carolina that they can go ahead and get. Janelle's kind of the girl after my own heart. Really loves the gardening, just kind of more or less a hobby farm kind of girl at this stage in her life, but just wants to be out in nature and enjoying nature that way. So then, of course, Janelle shares the great news that she's engaged. Janelle she's surprised. Janelle's thinking, I haven't even met this dude. I need to meet him. I need to give him my stamp of approval. And she does get to meet him. And, it's kind of, they start talking about Gwendolyn's wedding shower and how, everyone was getting tattoos. Janelle wasn't there. Janelle was taking care of her daughter who had just had a baby. So she didn't get to see, but she heard all about the party, and she just kept saying, a tattoo party at the engagement party? It was pretty comical. Janelle was certainly out of her comfort zone hearing about that, but she was also kind of amused by it. So it was really good to hear about that. We see a little talking head about Kody. During the conversation, they're talking about, how Kody was never really physically attracted to Christine. And Christine, part of her whole thing is she just really wants to make sure that David is attracted to her, because that, you can tell that was just so devastating in her entire life, that she felt that her now ex-husband was never attracted to her. That's just a really difficult walk to make, and she wants to make sure that, hey, David holds me in great esteem as far as physical attraction. And of course we hear Kody's talking head going, oh, I never said that. That was something I said in private to Janelle. And Janelle should never have told Christine that. But Kody, you told Christine that so many times. We heard it in the den. We heard it so many times. You weren't attracted to her. Over and over again. You know, sometimes it's like, okay, do you not realize you're on a show and everything gets recorded? It's kind of like surprising to me. So we're about halfway through the show now, and then we get to see a little bit about Meri. Meri is preparing to do her piece out. Kody has offered to help move her out and move her on up to Parowan to the B&B. Nathan, her brother-in-law and Kody's best friend, of course, is coming along, and the three of them are seen packing the truck. Amazingly, they're getting along so fine. They're laughing. They're having a great time. They're telling jokes. They get a little bit silly at something I won't even go into, but they do get a little bit silly. And all of a sudden, Robin appears in her little SUV, and talk about an energy drop. Wow. I mean, these guys were getting along super great. They were laughing. And it was just like a school marm had walked into the room and was getting ready to scold everybody. That's kind of the tone that was set. And I noticed it in the last episode where they were together, and it happened then too. So, you know, Robin, get control of yourself here. So Robin goes up to Meri. They're in the truck. She says, Meri, I need a minute of your time. And so she explains how she really wanted to help her move, but she just didn't have it in her to do that. What kind of a friend is that? Sorry, what kind of a friend is that? You know, she could have packed a box with them. She could have come in ahead of time. There was a promise that the kids were going to be there. The kids didn't get to come. She could have, if she couldn't pack a box, I don't know, maybe her health doesn't allow her to help pack and kind of stuff. Could she have made some food for them? I mean, they're packing an entire house, and then they're driving to Parowan, which is a few hours away. She couldn't do anything. Oh, she did bring a present. She brought a present. She brought a present, handed it to Meri. Meri didn't open it because Meri, you know, is very singular focused when she's organizing, and she wants to have everything packed just so. We've seen that many, many times over the years. That's who Meri is. She's the best organizer, and she's task-oriented. She wants to get back to her job. And Robin actually opens the present for her and pulls out this junk journal, which I had never heard of a junk journal. Not sure quite what all was in it, but that was the present. That's okay. I hear they're pretty expensive. That's all super nice of her, but I'm thinking, oh my gosh, one more thing to pack when you're trying to leave and get rid of stuff and shed stuff from your old life and that kind of stuff. So then we see that Kody, Meri, and Nathan, they drive the vehicles all the way up to Parowan, met by Meri's best friend, Jen, who's at the B&B. They help start unloading. Again, very light. They're joking around, they're laughing, and they're getting ready to leave. And Nathan hugs Meri, his sister-in-law. And folks, the next step is a master manipulation coming up. And I do believe he was sad. I do believe, you know, he had a hard time controlling his emotions. That's who Kody is. Kody never controls his emotion. But when he sees Nathan hug Meri, Kody loses it. He breaks down. He starts sobbing. Now I'm going to tell you that I was married for 27 years, and a lot of the things that Kody are, his traits are very similar to what my ex-husband was like. And I remember my ex-husband just bawling like a baby in court, okay? Kody is sobbing. This is total manipulation. He's trying to get her in some way back. Nothing has worked that he's tried. She's on the exit. She's saying farewell, and he just loses it. And in my mind, I'm like, dude, you said you haven't been intimate with her 8 to 9 years. Hey, that's a cause. That is a deal breaker, as Robin would say. Didn't say it right. She said deal breaker. That's a deal breaker, folks. He didn't nurture his relationship for years and years and years with Meri. He said he didn't like her. He said such evil, nasty things during the breakup that you couldn't believe. And here he is. He's just crying. What's his purpose? Usually it's a fool and his money. Don't want to be separated, folks. And that's what he sees is coming next, because she still owns part of Coyote Pass, and she still owns part of the house. And so I really think that was just all that, holy cow, I'm gonna lose my money. It's also sad, his big picture that he always talks about, his big picture, he actually kind of defines a little bit more that it's their love for their church and their family, and having that great big family and what all that meant to him. And now it's just completely gone. Sorry, Kody, you didn't nurture your relationships. You can't walk away from relationships and not expect this to happen. And you lost 1, 2, 3 wives. 3 wives that you lost. And you can blame COVID all you want, buddy. You can blame it. But Kody, all of us lived through COVID. All of us had relationships through COVID. Do you know what I did? I had one daughter about 20 minutes away, one daughter in this house, and one daughter 4 hours away. When it got to be Christmas time, we all got together. We isolated for those couple weeks, and then we all got together. Why? Because family is important. That relationship is important. We had no idea COVID was going to go on for 2 years, but wasn't your relationship important enough that you made sure that you were together? You could have made, heck, we were making phone calls. We were doing Zoom calls. We became experts at Zoom calls, Kody. Couldn't you have reached out to your kids? We always see the talking heads of the wife. Didn't you have Zoom calls to each person's family so you could lay eyes on them and see them? You know, another of my ramblings here, my mother became very, very sick during COVID. And my dad, his health wasn't all that great. And we lived about an hour apart. And so we didn't, COVID started for us like mid-March. I didn't see them until July. And I talked to them almost every day. And I could tell my mom's health was deteriorating. I could hear it in her voice. And I could hear it. And there was one day in July I said, Mom, I know you don't want anyone to come around you. You're terrified of COVID. I fully get it. I said, but I have to lay eyes on you. I want to see you. I want to know you're okay. And so I hopped in my car. I drove down there, and she was talking to me on the phone while I was driving. And she says, I don't want you to get sick. I don't want you to come in, and get really sick. They just quarantined our county. You won't be able to leave. And I said, Mom, if all I do is look at you through the window and just lay eyes on you, I'm going to be super happy. And of course, my dad was like, you know what? You can come in. I had my mask on, walked in, said, you don't need to wear a mask. Said, you have been quarantined for how many weeks? We were talking about since end of March to July. I hadn't been around anybody else. The only thing I was doing was like working remotely and walking my neighborhood. So there wasn't, I was having food delivered, I was having groceries delivered, anything I needed I had delivered. I wasn't going out anywhere. We weren't going to the beautician yet because they hadn't figured out how to handle all that stuff yet. But, we made it work. That's what I'm saying. Kody, you did this to yourself. You did this to your family. And what you need to do now is you need to start fixing those relationships that you have. I keep hearing you say that when the mothers left, they took away my location where I could associate with my children. I'm going to say bullshit on that. Sorry, but I'm going to say that's baloney. You are a man. You're a creative man. Figure out a way to reach out to those kids and make them feel special. And it's not too late. You're going to have a big, long road ahead. They're not going to agree with you. They're kids in their 20s. Kids in their 20s don't agree with their parents. It's not till usually they have kids of their own that they start figuring out, yeah, I can see the wisdom of what mom or dad said. But kids in their 20s are trying to break away from their parents. This is normal, Kody. This is what happens. And you need to take a chill and start working on those relationships. And it's gonna be hard, but if they're important to you, work on it and get through it. So those are just a few of my ramblings for tonight. I get pretty passionate about sister wives and everything I'm seeing going on. So thank you for bearing with me through my first video. I really appreciate you. If you could hit the like, I would appreciate that. So thank you. Till next time.